Okay, so let's start the session. So hey everyone, today we are going to have one of the most amazing guests out there, that is Roopshri. She is upcoming Intuit SD intern. And yeah, that's pretty much that only. Roopshri, you can introduce yourself if I have missed some points.
For sure. Hello, everybody. So, I think I'm new here in the OSDev community, right? I have joined
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So, this
right.
side, Roopshri, basically, I'm a third year student at Lovely Professional University and pursuing my bachelor's in computer science and engineering. As Kshitij said, that I'm an upcoming SD intern. Let me correct him. I'm currently an intern. I have joined already. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, right.
I'm a problem solver along with the monster developer. And adding a bit more is I was a part of Microsoft Intern Engage along with Cracked Amazon Wow 2022. And yeah, we are good to go, I guess.
Okay. So you can share your whole journey from where you started and till now, right? All everything like Google Step, that stuff, and the other Microsoft Engage interview experience, everything you can share.
Okay, so I think I was a kind of person who got to know about the coding and the very first year, and I didn't know that what actually programming languages are like C, C++. And I remember my days I was actually struggling with C only in my very first semester. I was like, how can a person can do this much of big codes and they can create websites, apps, and also. And I was like, this is intimidating task for me, but yeah, it happened because I was a good student in maths, so I loved the problem solving. I started on HackerRank, I believe. It was a quite noob type of platform for me because I found very easy problems there so that I can solve. And with a very single successful submission, I was like, okay, I have done something quite big, but it wasn't. But this is like that only. And after that, one of my senior actually said me that, okay, you can go to the lead code. There are having a lot of problems, good problems, which are actually asked in the interviews. I remember my day, it was my second semester. I was doing my very first lead code problem, and it took me around 2 days to solve that problem, I remember. So this is how I started. I was quite noob, even if I was good in maths, but problem solving took me a long to get started with. And I remember he told me about this step intern, right? So it was in my very second year, I would say third semester. I got an opportunity in the Google staff intern that I had an interview with Google, and I was quite happy that okay, I'm gonna have my very first interview with Google, and I'm definitely gonna crack it. But unfortunately, I couldn't, and I think there could be some cases. Sometimes we feel like okay, we are doing everything in a right way, in a good way, but we are not. This is the stuff which I always found from my every rejection. And in Google Step Intern, I guess I had my two technical interviews with Google. One of first one I was able to crack, and the second one I wasn't. So this is how it went. And after that rejection, I get to know that okay, there are a lot of questions on the lead code which are actually directly asked, that actually happened with me. Then I was like, okay, I should go firstly with the company based questions, because I found that there are a lot of questions which are not only asked in that single company, that are actually asked in multiple companies too. So for the lead code part, I used to do some filtered based question, not based on the DSA filtered, but based on the companies, like questions based on the fang I used to do, because these are quite good questions, medium level, high, or I would say low accuracy question, which are in high demand and generally asked many times. So I went through those questions. Doing those questions actually made me feel, I would say, confident that okay, now I can go with the questions which are randomly asked in the interviews and all. I generally don't recommend people to go with the filtered based question on the technique wise. We saw that there are some filters on the lead code that people go through the questions based on the, I would say, DSA, particular DSA and all. I think we are in the interview actually going to give a question which I think there could be two cases, like either we have seen that question, either we don't. So doing those filter based questions will actually limit ourselves to think about that particular DS, that particular approach we are going through. But doing randomized question will actually help us to go with the multiple approaches, which are actually quite appreciated in your interviews. And this is how it went, like doing lead code. I was getting so many opportunities in between, because I'm a kind of person like Kshitish, definitely quite active on the internet. I know that, okay, this is the opportunity coming, now I'm getting into that. Then after, I think it was about Microsoft Engage, in my second year only, I had 2 to 3 rounds of Microsoft Engage so that I can get an internship there. So I was able to successfully clear those rounds. And then there was a mentorship program. That in that I was given a project on that was completely on data science, which was not my interest, definitely. Those days were quite hectic, I remember, because I need to learn those technologies first, then creating a project that should actually compete with the rest of the 3,000 people. So that was a quite again challenging task. But I'm a kind of person who like challenges, who would definitely go through all the challenges, and how am I going to learn from those challenges. So it went like that, and I think I went till the last round, like till interviewing with Microsoft. And at last I couldn't make it because of recession layoff. I can say that, because at that moment they were like, okay, we cannot consider you because of we are not hiring people right now. That was okay. I think I got many rejections in my this pathway, and with every rejection I was quite sad. I was feeling like, okay, I'm doing this much, but still I'm not getting any fruitful. I think Shitish know this better,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so this is how it happened. After that, I had again interview with Google, and that was also something I couldn't make it. Then I had with Amazon too, and with Amazon, it was Amazon Wow, again off campus, guys. Whatever the opportunities, whatever the things I'm sharing, all are off campus, because I was a kind of person who wanted from the very first year that, okay, I'll go for something which is off campus, because in the off campus competition is quite high, quite tough, we can say. And we feel like, okay, we should compete with other people, because in the on campus I found very less competition. So I generally went for the off campus opportunities, and I think in the off campus we learn more with a greater competition. And after that, I remember, and after my fourth semester, that was like I had just 1 month of holidays, and I was like, okay, now this is the third year is coming, and I need to prepare for my placement season. And I don't know for which company I was preparing, what I was doing, but I was doing something like lead code ho gaya, yeah, whatever my projects and whatever the core subjects, I was doing everything. And I think in the Feb 23 I got an opportunity to work, I would say, to apply for into it, because getting an opportunity is quite big in this recession time, and even it is
Yeah.
off campus and for a good company. So this is how I got that opportunity, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go for this. I applied. It was through referral, I would say, because they actually hired in August for on campus people. They were in a need of 5 to 6 people more off campus. So it was kind of a referral, or I would say some people were actually approached by HR. So this is how. And after that, we had multiple rounds. For the first round, after resume shortlisting, was I would say online assessment. We call that technical test and all. So the questions were quite good, and again, I was able to make, I guess, around 3 questions out of four, and I was like, okay, I don't think, because for cracking into it, I should make around 4 questions, so that I will feel that, okay, now I'm gonna go and sit it for the interviews, but I couldn't. So after 2 3 days, I get to know that, okay, now I'm selected for the interviews, and the rest of the journey, it started again preparing and all. So I think this was about my all 3 years of my college. I guess I didn't created any mess, and you guys were able to understand each and every topic I shared.
राइट राइट राइट। तो
Yeah.
मुझे याद है कि जैसे जब तुम्हारा गूगल स्टेप इंटर्न, मतलब तुमने इंटरव्यू दिया था, यू वाज वेरी सैड, वी टॉक विद ईच अदर लाइक इट्स गोइंग टू बी फाइन, वी हैव टू prepare more and more, then you faced a rejection, another rejection from a company like Microsoft, फिर Amazon wow में rejection हुआ, but finally you cracked a very good company like Intuit, right? तो मेजर क्वेश्चन जो आता है बिगिनर्स को, जो सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन होता है कि रिसोर्सेज क्या फॉलो करें। कि 2 तरह के लोग होते हैं, एक तो होता है कि इनको पता ही नहीं कि कहाँ से पढ़ें, क्या पढ़ें, पता है ऑनलाइन क्या है, ऑफलाइन क्या है। और एक ऐसे हैं जिनके पास मेगा लिंक्स हैं बहुत सारे कोर्सेज की, पूरे यूट्यूब चैनल्स के बारे में पता है, मतलब है बहुत सारी रिसोर्सेज हैं। तो मतलब एक ऐसा क्या तरीका रहेगा कि स्पेसिफिक कौन सी ऐसी स्पेसिफिक रिसोर्सेज जो हमें फॉलो करनी चाहिए व्हाइल प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर एसडी इंटरव्यूज, राइट?
आई थिंक दिस वाज माय क्वेश्चन। जब मैं सेकेंड ईयर में थी, मैं हमेशा हर सीनियर से यही पूछती, मुझे रिसोर्सेज बताओ, बिकॉज एवरीबडी यूज टू टेल मी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, एंड एट द
सेम।
सेकेंड ईयर और फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट इतने कंफ्यूज होते हैं, उनको नहीं पता होता है कौन सा फॉलो करना है कौन सा नहीं. This
हम्म।
was the case in my side. So what I used to do, I knew that DSA is something which will actually help me to get into the product based companies. This was clear in my mind. How to do DSA, that was the second question. What are the resources? So उसके लिए मैंने follow किया था एक proper road map, which was that I was interested in C++. So C++ is actually a big thing when I talk about the OOPS. So firstly, I cleared all my I would say doubts about the OOPS and the complete basic I should know about the C++. And I think I went for a course on Udemy that was not so, I would say, expensive. It was quite beginner friendly and cheaper course you guys can follow, that is Advanced C++ or something by Abdul Bari sir, because they actually taught every concept in quite deeper way, so that you will get to know that how exactly things are working in back and even in OOPS too. So this is how it happened, and after you will go through that course, now you are never going to forget those stuff for sure. This thing I know. And for the DSA part, I think I didn't follow any particular resource, because it is like for the DSA, you will find everywhere a different kind of content, everywhere different set of questions
Right.
they will give. Every person will have a different kind of approach for any particular problems and all. So initially I used to go for the GFG articles, like, okay, this is the data structure, how it is created and how its STL is working and all. I used to do this stuff only. Okay, this is fine. And again, moving for the company based question, these questions are asked from this DS. I used to solve that question, those questions, maybe 8 to 10 questions would be there for any particular DSA, I would say. And after doing all those questions, now I know that okay, now I'm quite good in the DSA, their syntax, how things are working, what are the inbuilt functions and all. Then I moved for the questions on the lead code itself, because when you cover multiple questions with different patterns, you'll get to know that particular DS in deeper way. So for DS, I think there is no proper resource I could say for a particular approach for a DSA is by yourself. Yeah, if you want that, okay, you want to learn, when I talk about the backtracking or DP or graph, quite advanced is, yeah, you can follow some YouTube resources. I followed I would say Striver's cheat, because I found them a tough uh, thing for me to solve the problems based on the DP and backtracking in my initial days. So you guys can follow. Rest of the thing, I think, I feel like you should know the syntax, how things are working, and you should directly move into the problem solving, because the main thing you are going to do is your logic, how you are implementing. This is the
Right.
thing which will actually help you. And for the core subjects, I feel like these are quite more important apart from the DSA at today's time. So for the core subjects, the one thing I would like to mention here is I feel like engineers generally don't invest their money in buying the courses, and I'm a that kind
Exactly.
of person. I will
Same.
never buy something. I'll definitely find a different approach, that okay, from there I can get the same resource and free. I think you are getting that, so you should
Yeah.
do that only. And for this is how you, there are multiple courses like for core subjects, but there is no need to follow those courses, I believe, because core subjects are something theoretical. You will actually forget if you'll prepare 6 months prior or 1 year prior, for sure, because this is the thing which happened with me. So when I get to know that okay, I'll be having my interview, so there are some sheets available on the internet. I would like to mention the name as a Strivers SD sheet is there for the complete core subjects. We are supposed to go through that complete site, I would say a website, or I would say sheet created by the Striver. It will actually cover all the topics of the core subjects. After covering this sheet, you will definitely feel confident that okay, this core subjects part is clear. And if you feel that after clearing you want to go deeper into any topic, you guys can read an article about that on GFG. So this is how it will happen. And for the projects parts, and I guess this actually completely depends on how your interest in which
Exactly.
domain you are interested in. Yeah, these were the resources I follow.
Okay, so there is one more question. Like we are preparing for interviews. Some guys and some girls are preparing for interviews for about 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. So, what are the problems that you have faced, especially in your journey of
Okay,
preparation?
problems. This is
Yeah,
something which is never ending point for me. Every time I
exactly.
have a problem when I enter into something new thing. When it comes to resources, I already said that I went through multiple resources, and because multiple people recommended me multiple resources, and the biggest problem was the confusion that okay, and every resource has every different type of content. We'll definitely get confused. If a person is quite experienced, he'll get to know, he'll actually connect those resources. But being a fresher and beginner, I think going for blindly any particular resource, you feel like, okay, this is the expensive one, this is the quite good site. I see many crowd here, many people are doing that. Doesn't mean that it would contain a good content for you. So the best part is go through the interview bit. You'll get to know that okay, from this topic, from this particular, these kind of questions are asked, because interview bit is having a lot of sheets of questions. Not only the essay, I'm talking about the theoretical, like ओप्स हो गया, आपकी लैंग्वेज हो गई सी प्लस प्लस, आपके कोर सब्जेक्ट्स हो गए, सबका उनके पास डेटा है प्रॉपरली को, these are the questions which are asked. Why not to prepare those questions from the internet resources? Why we are investing this much of money? You should not. So this was the problem. I thought that people will have like me. And एक मेजर क्वेश्चन होता है सबके माइंड में, इज लाइक प्रोजेक्ट्स. भाई हमको क्या प्रोजेक्ट करने, कैसे प्रोजेक्ट्स करने. आई थिंक दिस इज समथिंग विच इज एक्चुअली नॉट गोइंग टू मैटर अ लॉट. जो चीज सबसे ज्यादा मैटर करती है दैट इज योर एक्सपीरियंस. इफ इवन इफ यू आर नॉट हैविंग एनी एक्सपीरियंस, इट्स फाइन, बट यू शुड know that how you will going to present yourself in your interview. This is the most important thing which I found, that through my experience I learned that. And if it's okay in your resume you have nothing to write for your experience, it's fine. You can actually be the part of any coding club. I can see, I would like to share that when I was in my second year, I met Shitish. He was actually at the quite beginner level, and see now the brand he has created for himself. So, and anything is possible if you want. And for the kind of people who say that okay, I'm an introvert person, I don't know how to talk to people, how will I represent, I would say that this is something you should work upon, because in the interview I saw many people who are quite intelligent than me. They did a problem better than me, but still they didn't get selected. Why? The reason was, how am I going to present myself, right? You should know that the person you are sitting in front of is actually quite experienced, and you should know that okay, I'm gonna tell him my approach, because multiple people are having interviews, right? किसी ना किसी ने तो वो आपकी वाली अप्रोच बताई ही होगी, तो आप में और उनमें डिफरेंस क्या होता है? यू शुड टेल द रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल्स. आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर माय एक्सपीरियंस दैट माय इंटरव्यूअर आस्क मी दैट चलो मेरे को ये बताओ कि जो ग्राफ में एल्गोरिदम होता है, प्रॉपर डिजिस्ट्रा से एल्गोरिदम हो गया, डीपी हो गया, उनके रियल लाइफ यूज केस क्या होंगे? हमारी ओप्स में अगर हमको पूछते हैं, ओवर राइडिंग पूछते हैं, उनके रियल लाइफ यूज केसेस. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स वी शुड नो दैट ओके, दीज आर द रियल लाइफ यूज केसेस. अगर हम ये बातें बताएंगे, या वट एवर द थिंग्स आर एक्चुअली हैपनिंग इन द बैक एंड ऑफ द सिस्टम, ओके इफ आई यूज दिस प्रॉब्लम, इसमें इतने मेमोरी राइट्स होंगे, इतना ऑप्टिमाइजेशन होगा, वर्स्ट केस में ये होगा. इफ यू विल explain in this way, na, definitely your interviewer will be, I would say, attracted towards your words, and definitely that should be a plus point for you. So working on yourself, creating yourself, okay, I'm not saying that you should do a lot of stuffs to do that. No, you should have a confidence. Whatever you are saying, you can actually convey your the person who is sitting in front of you. The thing, first thing is for your personality, how you are gonna explain. Second is communication is also a good thing. I saw many people who are doing blindly questions, and they were like, okay, there should be a one-to-one interaction with your interviewer too. He should
Exactly.
understand that what you are doing, and you should understand that what he is feeling about you. So this is the thing. And when it comes to preparation, there is no need to hesitate about, because you know that what you have done a lot of, because after getting the interview call, that is the time to wrap up something. And we'll feel like okay, I have a lot of stuffs and I didn't revise that. It's all right, we have we have actually invested a lot of time in doing problem solving and all. So definitely, well, when we'll get the problem, there would be two cases: either we know the problem and we'll do, either we don't know, still we can do, and either the third case is we don't know and we cannot do. Definitely we can have some approaches from our interviewer, and then breaking that problem into the points we can do. So there is nothing to hesitate about. Coming forward, the core subjects and all, and I think for the core subjects, my recommendation is don't invest your time much for the core subjects before the interviews or something. When you know that okay, in 1 week or maybe after 2 3 days you are going to have your interviews, it's fine. You can use that time in core subjects in your projects and all. Before that, just go for DSA, because DSA is something, this is actually the second round, maybe third round it can be till for you. So you need to crack that. And when it comes to off campus, it is quite big competition in those 2 to 3 rounds for you. So you should go for that. And I think these are the problems which I faced for the off campus, because the second round, OA round, was quite tough for me every time, because IITians and IITians, I would say tier 3 college people, everybody is there. So you should do something for that. You should know that, okay, these are the problems which are actually going to be asked. So for that, I should prepare. How should I prepare? I should do lead code daily. This is the something.
तो गाइज आप में से किसी को भी कोई भी क्वेश्चन पूछना हो, आप डायरेक्टली हैंड रेज कर सकते हैं, मैं आपको माइक एक्सेस दे दूंगा, राइट? सो या, माइक इज ओपन, एनीवन कैन रेज देयर क्वेश्चंस. तो प्रसन्न, ओके, आस्क द क्वेश्चन.
सो मैंने मतलब कि पहले से भी जितने पहले इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस हुए थे इंट के, तो उनसे मैंने देखा है कि इंटरव्यू जो एचडी राउंड्स होते हैं वो बहुत सबसे हार्ड होते हैं. तो ये क्या सच बात है कि ज़्यादा डाटा स्ट्रक्चर एंड एल्गोरिदम की पढ़ाई होती है?
I think what happened for me, that as I already said, that I interviewed with Fang, right? So मैंने इतना एक्सपीरियंस कर लिया गूगल, Amazon, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, डी शॉ, बट अगर मैं सबसे कंपेयर करूँ, इंटुइट का इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस, इंटुइट के राउंड्स सारे उनसे ज़्यादा काफ़ी लेवल तक डिफिकल्ट थे, बिकॉज जो ओए लेवल था उसमें भी इतनी नेक्स्ट लेवल के क्वेश्चंस थे. Like even I took a lot of time to find the small case in one problem so that it will get selected or submitted initially. So it was a quite tough round, and I would not like to rate, but if I would say, I would give an example of lead code. You can go through the medium questions with lower accuracy for the OA part. Okay, this kind of questions can be asked. Or if I go with the CF, you can go with C level, or maybe sometimes D division also they ask. Not exactly the same questions, but I would say difficulty level would be the same. When it comes to your interviews, interviews are all about everything. They will actually scan you through your resume. What are the things you put inside? Even if they know that you are the fresher, you can be asked with the system design question, which happened with me. So there is nothing like, okay, you are done with your DSA part, but now you should focus on everything else you mentioned in your resume. They will ask you to open your project. They will ask you to maybe implement a feature in your project. Maybe they will ask you, there is no such case. They will ask you that, okay, let me just share that. What is the high level design of your project? They will actually scan you through that. Okay, what kind of depth knowledge you are having for any particular thing. I would recommend, if you are applying for Intuit, don't put anything wrong or anything you feel like, okay, you have very lesser knowledge about, you don't put, because you are going to get a lot of questions about that. I had two interviews, and in first interview it was just one panel, and the second interview, that was quite tougher one, and there were two panels. So you can expect, when multiple panels are there, multiple questions for one particular thing. So you should know that what are the things you feel that you are comfortable, you are quite ready to answer them, any particular thing if they are gonna ask, you should put those stuffs only. And for the interviews, this is not something that you should know everything, because this happened with me. I think in my second interview there was one question I didn't know about, and I clearly say that okay, I don't know, but I can approach that. That wasn't DSA question, that was a theory question, but I know that. Oh, and then I said, because when you will go through all the theories, you should find a connection. So just try to tell them, okay, I'm thinking in this direction, I'm thinking in that direction. That's fine. It's okay. They don't expect you to tell everything whatever they feel, because they are quite serious. So you should know how to convince them. Okay, I don't know, but I know this stuff which is quite related to it. So in this way, this will go. But yeah, when it comes to difficulty, it is harder than Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, because they are actually focusing on DSA part only, but the Intuit is actually focusing more with DSA.
Okay, so there were only lead code standard problems or just like Codeforces problems?
Yeah, I would say you can go with Codeforces standard problem, definitely, because lead code problem is more about DSA, but when it comes to Intuit OA, they can ask you one DSA question and rest of the CP based question.
तो आपके बहुत सारे एक्सपीरियंस हैं इंटरव्यू के, राइट, कि
Yeah.
प्रॉपर हम बार बार रिपीट करें वही चीज. तो मतलब जो बिगिनर्स है जिनका भी फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू होने वाला है या फिर वो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं इंटरव्यू, तो ऐसी क्या टिप्स हैं जो इंटरव्यू में नहीं करनी चाहिए वो गलतियां?
Okay, first step is don't go with the optimal approach very initially. कभी ऐसा होता है ना, हम लोग बहुत खुश हो जाते हैं, अरे यार ये क्वेश्चन तो कितनी बार किया, ये आ गया, अभी मेरे को आता है, मैं अभी 5 मिनट में करके इनको इम्प्रेस कर दूंगा. डोंट डू दिस, बिकॉज आई डिड इट एंड आई गॉट रिजेक्टेड इन गूगल. सो यू आर नॉट सपोज टू डू सच थिंग्स इवन इफ यू नो दैट प्रॉब्लम. आई थिंक थोड़ी बहुत तो एक्टिंग करो यार, नहीं आता है मेरे को, फिर भी go with the brute force, go with something like, okay, you just make him feel that okay you are thinking, then go with your optimal approach. Second thing जो नहीं करनी चाहिए is चुपचाप तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं बैठना, even if you don't know. और I saw many people who were cheating on the interviews, like they were doing something जो कि बिल्कुल ही I would say acceptable नहीं होता through the companies. We people, not me, like other people actually feel, जो लोग कुछ होते हैं प्रो लोग, they feel like okay I will make them fool or nothing like that, because the person who is sitting in front of you ना, वो आपसे बहुत ज्यादा experienced होता है. even if you know that आप कर लोगे, मे बी आपको वो चीज आता होगा, जस्ट अ सिंगल पॉइंट और समथिंग यू आर डूइंग, यू विल बी कॉश, और मे बी बाकी की सारी चीजें आपने सही की हो 100 में से, लेकिन वो एक चीज होती है जो पॉइंट आउट होती है. सो यू शुड नॉट डू दिस इवन इफ यू डोंट नो द क्वेश्चंस. कुछ भी हो जाए, व्हाट हैपेंड विद मी इन वन ऑफ माय इंटरव्यू, दे गिव मी अ क्वेश्चन जिसके साथ मैं कंफर्टेबल नहीं थी, आई डिडंट नो इट एट वेरी इनिशियल पॉइंट. So I said, okay, change the question. They will definitely change the question. There is nothing about you will feel hesitate. कभी ऐसा होता है कि हम क्या करते हैं कि इनिशियल में कुछ गलती कर देते हैं. सो वी उस गलती को लेके हम अपने पूरे बाकी के 45 मिनट्स में भी 60 मिनट्स वो पूरे खराब कर देते हैं. दैट शुड नॉट बी अ केस. ठीक है, गलती होती है, तो सामने इंसान बैठा है, उसने भी कभी की होगी, सो डेफिनेटली ही इज गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड. कुछ हो जाए, यू फील लाइक ओके दिस अप्रोच मैंने गलत लगा दी है, you feel hesitate कि okay my impression was bad, now if I'll do that तो भी कुछ होने नहीं वाला है. तो वो सारी thinking जो होती है वो बाकी के पार्ट को भी खराब कर देती है. तो you should not do that. And there is one standard thing is don't go with the feedbacks and all. Definitely कभी ऐसे होता है, generally I'm not talking about Intuit, but sometimes you feel that okay the person feel like okay he want the feedback, he don't want to know about the companies or whatever happening in our organization. So you should go more with those questions. Feedbacks are fine. It actually depends कि कौन सी कंपनी है, आप किसके साथ इंटरव्यू में बैठे हो, राइट? Different people have different mindsets. So I generally consider asking for a feedback is a negative point for us. We should not ask. We should be confident that okay, I'll get selected because I proved myself whatever I knew that I convey that. Simple.
ऐसा मेरे साथ भी हुआ था कि इफ आई शेयर माय एक्सपीरियंस, तो मैं 5th सेमेस्टर में मैंने भी एक इंटरव्यू दिया था गीक्स फॉर गीक्स का, मेंबर ऑफ टेक्निकल स्टाफ का. तो पहला क्वेश्चन मुझसे पूछा गया, तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन मैं यही हुआ कि मेरे को ऑलरेडी आता था, तो मैंने खुशी खुशी में बेस्ट अप्रोच बताया, जिस ड्राइवर जो थर्ड अप्रोच बताया करता है लास्ट में. तो इंटरव्यू स्माइलिंग एट मी लाइक हैव यू डन दिस क्वेश्चन बिफोर. तो इतने कॉन्फिडेंस उसने बोला, तो मैंने भी एग्री कर दिया, यस सर आई हैव डन दिस क्वेश्चन. तो उसके बाद उसने सेकंड क्वेश्चन पूछा, तो उसका भी ये गलती हो गई कि उसके मेरे को आते ही नहीं थे बाकी अप्रोच, मुझे ऑप्टिमली आता था, तो वो भी मैंने वैसे ही कर दिया। फिर इंटरव्यू वाज अगेन नॉट हैप्पी, तो उसने फिर मेरे को थर्ड क्वेश्चन दिया जो मेरे से नहीं बना, एंड आई वाज रिजेक्टेड इन द इंटरव्यू। अगर मेरे को एक्टिंग करना आता और मैं प्रॉपर तीनों स्टेप्स पे करता तो शायद मैं क्रैक कर लेता इंटर्नशिप।
This
So
is
that was also my experience.
I was talking about. ये चीज मैंने अपने गूगल इंटरव्यूज में की थी। पूरे क्वेश्चन विद बेस्ट अप्रोच आई डिड इट, बट आई न्यू मेरे को वो चीज बतानी थी, बिकॉज दे एक्चुअली गोइंग थ्रू कि आप कौन से थॉट प्रोसेस से जा रहे हैं, कितने छोटे से पॉइंट्स आप शुरू कर रहे हो और कहाँ पे पहुंच रहे हैं। तो ये चीज बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होती है। खुश तो बिल्कुल मत होइए ऑप्टिमल बता के कि हाँ अब मैं हो जाएगा मेरा, नहीं।
Right. So, any more questions? Its mic is still open. You can ask the questions, or we can close the session, right?
Yeah.
One more question from my side. ओके, रुपेश मैम, जैसे कि अभी मतलब कि एचडी इंटर्न्स होते हैं, तो मतलब कि अगर इंटरव्यू के आगे का प्रोसेस, जब जॉब ऑफर्स आती है तो उसके बाद एचडी रोल के बाद कुछ अलग अलग डोमेन्स मिलते हैं काम करने के लिए। तो फिर अगर किसी डोमेन में अपन ने पहले से काम नहीं किया है तो हाउ वुड यू हैंडल दैट?
Okay, so question for me, because right now I have just joined into it. DSA हो गया, कोर सब्जेक्ट हो गए, आपके प्रोजेक्ट्स हो गए बिल्कुल लोअर लेवल पे है, और when you will be given the thousands of lines of code to work, now you will get to know, okay, this is the corporate work where we are SDs working. So I think that as I shared my journey that okay, मैंने बहुत noob level से very scratch से start किया था, फिर भी I was able to get into these companies, interview experience and even into it. So thing ये है कि they actually scan you through your abilities in your interviews. They know that okay, this people is thinking in this way, so whenever they will be given any kind of domain in that company ना, he will be able to grab that. And this is not something कि हम लोग first day पे join कर रहे हैं और हमको पहले दिन काम दे दिया, no, nothing like. We will be provided proper mentorship. Okay, this is your domain, these are the stuff you are gonna do, these are the resources you should learn about, these are the things. Initially we are not gonna get into multiple things, or I would say very harder things which we don't know. They also know that we are freshers, we want to know, and any domain where we didn't work, it's fine, we can learn and we can do.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, any more questions from anybody, and or we can close the session, right? Rupshi is running out of time. Okay, Sid XD, you can ask the question. I think.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening.
Ma'am, I'm a fresher in computer science field, and I want to know what is the right time to get into an internship, and are there any potential opportunities for full-time employment by completing the internships?
Yeah, definitely. When you internships is all about company will get to know कि आप कैसे काम कर रहे हैं उनके साथ. Are you coordinating with team? Are you able to do your task on daily basis? आप कैसे अपने मैनेजर को impress कर रहे हैं अपने काम से? This is all about. After the internship you will get a complete report कि okay, this task जो आपने किए हैं और उसका output ये हुआ है. And definitely if you have done something quite exceptional or quite good जिससे company खुश है आपसे, आपकी team आपसे खुश है, you will get a full-time opportunity for sure. And you ask one question that what are the opportunities for a fresher, as in, what did you say about the second year, right?
Ma'am, what is the right time
Right
to
time.
get into an internship? I'm a fresher in the computer science field.
Okay, so right time is, I won't say anything right, because I started from the second year onwards to applying and all. This is all about okay, जब हमको opportunity मिलता है, just get into them. क्या होगा, या तो सिलेक्शन होगा, अदरवाइज एक्सपीरियंस होगा. सो नेक्स्ट टाइम उसका और यूजफुल अच्छा होगा आपके लिए, आपकी नेक्स्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए. सो यू शुड स्टार्ट. जो भी अपॉर्चुनिटी दिखती है आपको, देयर इज नो राइट टाइम, कुछ ऐसा नहीं है. इवन इफ यू डोंट नो दैट स्टफ, जस्ट गेट इनटू इट. अब तभी तो मजा आएगा. यू विल गेट टू नो कि ओके, दीज आर द स्टफ, अब मेरे को नहीं आता है, आई विल लर्न, आई विल डू एंड आई विल गेट एन एक्सपीरियंस. और अगर मैं सेलेक्ट हो जाता हूँ तो दैट द बेस्ट पार्ट, right? And ideal start time, I would say you should start from second year onwards. There are many opportunities from the very second year that कि आप किसी hackathon में participate कर सकते हो. If you are DSA person, you should go for the contest. You can actually doing contest is fine. I saw that many times he has a very good post on the LinkedIn. You can actually post, you can brand yourself so that HR and many people will get to know that okay, you are CP person, you are DSA person, you are this, you are doing this stuff. Maybe you will get any opportunity through LinkedIn. So there is no right time or something. You should start whenever you feel that okay, this opportunity is for me, I'm eligible, you should do.
Yeah. दैट्स द सेम केस लाइक जैसे आप लिंक्डइन में अगर आपको कुछ भी इंफॉर्मेटिव आपको पता है या फिर कुछ भी आप नया एक्सपीरियंस करते हो या फिर अपनी जर्नी शेयर करना होता है तो आप शेयर कर सकते हो लिंक्डइन में. फॉर एग्जांपल अभी मुझे 2-3 दिन पहले ही मेरे को प्रियांश अग्रवाल ने अप्रोच किया फॉर इंटर्निंग एट टीएलई एलिमिनेटर्स एंड आई एक्सेप्टेड दैट ऑफर. ओके, बट आई एम नॉट डिस्क्लोजिंग इट. अभी डिस्क्लोज कर दिया ऑफिशियली, मैं बाद में डिस्क्लोज करूंगा इसको. So that's the way that you can brand yourself on the LinkedIn. You will get various opportunities. Like I have got it was my dream that Priyansh Agrawal himself came to me.
Exactly.
तो हाँ, और दूसरी पॉइंट आपका बहुत सही था कि या तो आप एक्सेप्ट होगे या तो एक्सपीरियंस मिलेगा. रिजेक्ट नहीं होगे. रिजेक्शन इज डिफरेंट थिंग. आपको एक्सपीरियंस मिलेगा या तो आपको एक्सेप्टेंस मिलेगा, और तो दूसरी चीज कोई नहीं होगी, तीसरी चीज. राइट, दैट वाज अ वेरी
टॉप टू माय रिजेक्शन लिस्ट यार. फिर भी मैं खुश हूँ. मेरे को पता है ठीक है, नहीं होगा तो भाड़ में जाए, नेक्स्ट आएगा वो उससे अच्छा होगा. खत्म बात. और क्या.
Yeah, it was a simple. Okay, so let's close the session, guys. It was बहुत ज्यादा टाइम तक हो गया ये. Thanks, Rupshi. Yeah. Thanks, Rupshi, for giving us valuable time. Right.
Okay, one more thing I would like to add here, that if any one of you guys are having any kind of problem issue, you want to get ask me question or get any kind of mentorship from my side, you can reach me out on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to help.
Yeah, and we can share your socials on our Telegram channel too.
Okay.
Right. Okay, thanks, Rupshi. Let's close the session.